Hi, and welcome back to Blue's Garden. And yes, it really was snowing in April. Hi. I'd like to take a quick look at what I got done this week in gardening. I started some beets. I started a whole bunch of different types of gourds. My zucchini and squash and pumpkin. And I'd like to take a look at the grow lights, the shelves, and see where we're at with things. I've done a lot of up potting. Many of my tomatoes are now in 4-inch pots and are coming along very nicely. So it's second week in April. I've got 3 weeks to harden off. I have a space indoors that's basically a large green room, sunroom, we call it. And that's where they'll spend the next few weeks. I'll give you a tour next week of that. The plants will get a lot more exposure to sunlight. It's a little cooler in there than the basement, but it gets a whole lot of sun, so it warms up in the mid-afternoon and then cooler nights. I've found the last few years of plants going in there right before I harden off that they end up being very robust because of that. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the seeds I started this week. Let's get started. These are Early Wonder Tall Top beets. Now, beets are perfectly fine growing really close to each other in clusters. So I'm going to plant 3 little clusters, 2, 3, 4 seeds each in each cluster of the Early Wonder Tall Top beets. These are faster from seed to harvest. And label, because label everything. And roasting beets, these are called Sweet Merlin, slightly smaller, take a little longer to harvest, but again, similar. I'm going to plant in little clusters. Beets are fine growing up next to each other, snug right next to each other. So I'm going to plant 3 clusters, 4 clusters of 2 or 3 each, 3 or 4 each, and a light coating of some potting mix on top, and of course label everything. I am potting up white cherry tomato. Now these are going into 4-inch pots. They are loosen up the roots and make sure to tuck plenty of soil around the sides, potting mix or something, and pack it in so there are no air pockets. These are yellow pear tomato, slightly larger than a cherry tomato, and same thing, pack the soil around, no air pockets, make sure the labels go in. I usually give the pots a little shake to make sure there's no air and everything settles correctly. So 4 of these yellow pear. Fill in with some potting soil around the sides. Tap it in there. And last are 2 yellow plum. These are slightly larger than the yellow pear. Make sure you get good contact between everything. Fill it in, pack it in with your fingers, get rid of the air, and then don't forget to water it in after. That actually also helps. Now, gourd mix. I don't know what these gourds, this is a new for me. I don't know what these gourds are going to come out to be. I suspect that each seed is slightly different. So in each pot, I'm putting 3. And when it goes outside, I'll probably separate them out enough. But I wanted to get a good mix in each of these 4-inch pots. The seeds are buried about the depth of the seed size. That's usually a good rule to follow. And then I label these all just gourd. And the last are my 2 Baby Boo white pumpkin. I'm going to put a couple of seeds in each of these 4-inch pots. These are all going to be just decorative. Probably put them out in the front garden so that they will be decorative from the front of the house. And again, light coating on top. Label them. Italian large leaf basil. I am, from now until September, going to start basil about every 2 or 3 weeks. We cook a lot of basil. And I will also, whatever is close to its end of its life, I will also cut it and dry it and save it. Very light coat. Basil seeds are small. That tells you only want a little bit of soil on top. I am going to pot up my long purple eggplant. I started with 6, probably put 9 seeds in total. The potting soil on the bottom is slightly damp. And then I'm going to put the seedlings on top. And I will fill in around the side of the seedlings. This one has a couple in there, and I will separate them out. Tuck in the root. Put a little soil around the sides. Bury it nicely. Again, tuck in around the sides. Poke your fingers down. Get really nicely compact. Not terribly, but push it in. You don't want any air pockets in there. And fill in lots of the potting soil, the potting mix around. Again, fill in around the sides. You've heard the game before. Air for your roots is bad. It'll end up air pruning. And then, of course, lastly, don't forget to label. Now, celery, I get some celery from the grocery store. I will chop up all the celery, use it. But that last bit, I will take and I will put in water and leave it on my windowsill. And it will eventually grow from the center. You'll see. It starts to grow. Here it is about a week or so later. Hang on. Here it is about a week or so later. And you see it start to grow. Eventually, I will take this whole thing when there's these little white roots and bring them outside. Let's take a look at the grow light shelves and a tour of what we have there so far. Here's a bizarre thing. These 2 are both labeled marigold. One on the right is definitely buttercrisp lettuce, though. It was right next to the marigold, so I'm suspecting a seed came over. These are 5 different varieties of bulbing onion on the left here. And then back on the right is bunching onion, Tokyo long white, and a red beard bunching. These are strawberries from seed. I've got 12 little seedlings coming in. Very exciting for me because I've never had strawberries from seed. Some cherry tomato. There's that marigold / buttercrisp lettuce. More of my cherry tomato. All these seedlings are starting to get potted up. These are the zucchini and squash and the peppers in the back behind the fake marigold. These are lots of tomato, different varieties. The back left, you can see Roma. Potting up some giant crimson, big slicer tomato. Again, damp soil on the bottom, damp potting mix. And tuck in around the side, fill it in, get the air pockets out. Giant crimson is a really nice big slicer that does real well, certainly for me here in zone 7A and B. And 4 of those potted up. Shake, shake, shake. vibrate, gets the air pockets out, soil gets down in there. These are some Jubilee, which are new for me. And I will pot these up and again tuck in the air on the side. Tuck into the pockets so that there are no air pockets. Tuck lots of soil in there. Poke it down with my fingers, get the air pockets out, make sure it's all labeled. Sounds a little repetitive, but you got to do it each time you pot up. This is black crim, and I've done this one before. It's similar to the black seaman and the some similar coloration to like Cherokee purple kind of thing. Black crim and black seaman are all similar to each other. I didn't do black seaman this year. And a few sweetie tomato, cherry tomato that needed potting up. These 4-inch pots will be the last of it. They will go up into my sunroom, and then the next time they move from these pots will be after they've hardened off, and they will go outside into the garden, into their forever homes. And I had one more space, so I grabbed a moonbeam, which is a little yellow cherry tomato. And again, with the shaking and poking with the fingers, tuck it all in there to get all the air pockets out. Mid-April, we've done some potting up. We have finished the last of my seeds, I guess. Indoor seeding, anyway. I am absolutely dying to get outside, but as you saw, we had some rain all week and some snow overnight a couple nights. Weird, but it happens. So, coming soon, the promised sunroom. Where I take my seedlings, anything in their 4-inch pots, I'll go up into that sunroom. They get a lot more sun. They will start to really bloom and blossom in there, really grow. And then that's just a matter of that opens outside. So that's just a matter of real quick to transition those, harden them off to get them outside. So coming soon. The sunroom, and hopefully mid-April. It's only 3 weeks before hardening off. So coming soon. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please share it. Don't forget to subscribe. All of that helps me grow, and that helps you grow. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps me grow, and that helps you grow.